All right, Mike, let's talk a little hoops. Obviously, UCF had a really, I guess, good season. I think a lot of people were surprised at the record and how well the Knights team played. And we have one of the guys with us tonight who was a part of that team, Mike, one of my favorite players in the team. I kind of wish he had actually got more run, but I'm sure we can talk about that as we bring him in, Mike. But he played a big role in the team this year and obviously a lot of success. And we can't wait to hear everything that he has to say about his time at UCF. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Antwann Jones to the show with us. Antwann, first off, man, I appreciate you taking some time. I know it's busy. I know it's late. I know you're working out, man. So thanks for hopping on the show with us.
I appreciate you for having me.
Let me start here. I mean, you obviously have a really unique story and sort of your journey, but you're a local Orlando kid. Out of high school, though, you sign with Memphis. You don't go to UCF. So I'd love to kind of start with just your high school journey. Was UCF a consideration for you at all coming into high school? Was it ever a choice or an option for you to maybe come to UCF right out of high school?
I mean, I was recruited by UCF, but it was never an option because of the timing of everything. I was just looking at Memphis, Texas A&M, TCU, those type of schools coming out of high school. So UCF was a little bit under the radar for me.
What was the perception of UCF back then? I mean, you graduate, so your freshman year at Memphis was 2018, 2019. So at this point, UCF, obviously, BJ Taylor was there, Taco Fall was there. As a high school kid, though, was UCF a basketball school that you even thought about? What was the perception of UCF back then?
This is a trap question, but coming out of high school, I wasn't really looking at UCF as a school that I would have potentially went to. It wasn't looked at as a basketball program yet, up until the
Yeah.
BJ Taylor Taco Fall situation. So, but those are my big brothers, so I looked up to them. So I was like, I'll consider it, but at the time, I couldn't say no to Penny. I just couldn't.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Memphis, obviously a more historic basketball team than UCF. What are the big differences? Everybody around UCF is always talking about how maybe basketball is second to football here. I think that's the opposite in Memphis. Do you notice that difference as a basketball player over there?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This year was really good though. Honestly, like I can't thank the fans enough for popping out and showing us love because it felt like a basketball school this year. I mean, the games was packed out, but in terms of Memphis, I mean, it's Penny Hardaway, man. Like it's the GOAT, man. I can't say nothing bad about him. I looked up to him growing up. I always wanted to be just like Penny, so I had to take that opportunity. And it's not really that much of a difference. It just depends on the level of school that you at. Like you realize that more schools that are well funded, they invest into their sports team. So that's just what it is.
And then you go from there, you go to Creighton, who's another basketball power. I mean, they're in the tournament every year. They were a 3 seed this year in the Big Dance. What kind of different? It's a smaller school than UCF, right? But not basketball wise.
Yeah, Creighton was like, in terms of basketball, that was the best basketball I've ever played in my entire career, just in terms of like spacing, unity, just knowing where you need to be at what times. And that was really good basketball. Greg McDermott, I would be surprised if he's not top 3 basketball coaches that I've ever seen, like in person. Like, and I played for some pretty good coaches, but McDermott is like, he's special. So I see why they have the success that they having just throughout their culture and the way that he runs things. Like, he like a mad scientist when it comes to X's and O's and just operate the team very fluidly. He was playing chess out there. Teams was playing checkers. I remember we played UConn, and they had a big man that was dominating us, but we had Christian Bishop, who was like 6'7", 6'8". He was an undersized 5-man, and he made Christian Bishop outrun the big man every possession down. UConn ended up taking their big man out the game, not knowing that we struggled against big dudes, and then we ended up blowing them out because they made a quick little substitution that they didn't know that we needed them to do. So little stuff like that in terms of Creighton.
We spent time at Creighton, then you get to Louisiana, and then you find yourself back in the portal again. Why was UCF the right fit for you this time around? What kind of drew you to come back to Orlando and go to UCF?
I wanted to come home. I mean, I'm from Orlando. I'm really from Florida. I was raised in Tampa, and then I moved to Orlando probably my sophomore year of high school. I won a state championship in Orlando at Oak Ridge High School, which has a lot of prominent players that come to UCF, like Cameron Simpson, and they got a lot of dudes coming in from Oak Ridge to UCF. We got like a little connection with them. But I just wanted to come home and be a part of something special. I had no clue that we were going to be in the Big 12. I walked on at UCF because getting my degree was more important than playing basketball. But I had a good relationship with the coaching staff and I felt like it would be the best place for me. And I would have rather walked on at UCF than to go anywhere else in the country at the time, just because I wanted to be next to my family and my mother, who's been supporting me out through my college career and stuff like that.
Yeah, take us through that journey. Obviously, you had to sit out a period of time, most of the 2022-23 season. You sat the first month of the 23-24 season. Take us through kind of your journey and getting to UCF and sort of why you had to sit out for such a long period of time.
I don't wish my journey on nobody. It was very hard journey. Really, I've only played 2 full seasons of college basketball. I played 8 games at Louisiana. And I was going through a little bit of mental health. Like, I was homesick. I felt like basketball wasn't going anywhere. And then once I got there, I was like, what do I really want to do with my life? And at the time, I wanted to just get home and like resettle and refocus myself. It was hard to get into UCF. UCF needed a GPA requirement, and I had classes that I had taken at Louisiana that I needed to get off of my transcripts before I would be accepted into UCF. So that took a little bit of time. And then during that time, like, I was just trying to get into UCF till I got accepted. And I finally got accepted in January. So I've been a walk-on at UCF since last January. January 10th is when I became a UCF Knight. So I've been grinding, man. Hopefully they give me another year of eligibility. I'm gonna try to see if the NCAA give me a waiver, because technically I've only played a total of 97 basketball games throughout my career. So that's 2 full seasons, and then I played 8 at Louisiana, and I missed the first 8 at UCF, which was probably the reason why the year went the way it went for me.
There's a lot of new guys on this roster. This team was put together, with the guys that have not been here for a long time. You, Sellers, Shamari Allen. How long does it take, or did you know anything about their style of play before you got here? Did you guys communicate, or did you get a lot of work together in the offseason?
We had a team full of dudes that work hard, like, each and every day. We was in the gym. Like, nobody in the world could say that we didn't work hard each and every day. Like, we were competing with each other to see who could be in the gym the most, which I loved about our team. It was just hard to mesh all those new guys together that soon, that quick, and not know what each and everybody's going to bring to the table, especially being that we in the Big 12. It's not an easy conference, but talent-wise was definitely not an issue. It was more just meshing together and being a unit and having continuity with each other. That's really what it was.
You guys took that trip to Italy, right? You guys went on the Italy trip in the offseason. How much did that help kind of get the camaraderie going?
That's exactly what we needed. So, like, everybody was shy at first. We didn't really introduce each other. Like, we was all competing for a spot and a role on the team. So after we got to Italy, we got a chance to actually bond and, like, have conversations that we weren't trying to have at first. So it was a beautiful trip. Got to see a lot of things that I can say not a lot of people got to see, and I got to build friendships with guys that will last forever at UCF.
What cities did you go to exactly? Do you remember?
We went to Venice. We went to Rome. We went everywhere. I remember going to Venice. I remember going to Rome. You put me on the spot right there, but those are the 2 places I remember the most. American food is better than overseas food. I will say that too, because
I don't know about
it's a little too healthy over there. A little too healthy. I need some seasoning on my food, man. That's just what it is. Yeah.
And so what was your first impression when you met Coach Dawkins? Obviously, I know you knew who he was, right? Obviously, from his days at Duke and the things he had done. Yeah. But when you kind of walk in the room, walk across from him, and now he's your coach, what was your first impression of Coach Dawkins?
I thought he was a very nice, very genuine guy. I feel like he's a man of his word, and he does exactly what he says he's going to do. And he's always looking for the best interest of not only you, but the program as well. Like, he understands the business of the game of basketball, because he's been around it for so long that he just knows how to operate his program and his organization. A lot of players, from my experience, they don't understand what it's like having a coach as good as Coach Dawkins, because he allows you the opportunity to be you, and you have no excuses as to why you weren't being you, because he gave you the opportunity to.
Yeah,
like,
how much do you obviously?
Like, nobody's limited to doing what they do best on the basketball court.
Yeah, obviously you had a really unique perspective, right, based on your journey before UCF. How much are you talking to the young guys about, like, hey, you don't recognize the opportunity you have, or sort of what this is like, because you'd been through, right, different coaches with Penny and McDermott, right? Obviously the struggles you went through at Louisiana. How much are you kind of telling your other teammates, like, hey, like, enjoy what you got now, because it's pretty darn good?
Yeah, I use myself as a living testimony. I don't live according to my will. I live according to God's will. And what He wants me to do is help the young guys understand that college basketball now is a business because of NIL and because of people are feeding their families based off college basketball. So you have to think about it as such. It comes down to two things: assets and liabilities. Either you're one of the two. And I try to tell the young guys all the time, like, you got to make sure you can be an asset to the program as much as possible, because it's not like back in the day. When my dad was in school, he said you get 4 years. It's not like that. You get 1 year. It's a 1 year contract. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're out of there. And if you do what you're supposed to do, then they'll keep you. But you always want to present yourself and have a business mindset about college basketball. It's no longer a 4 year you get to grow and develop. No, you got to come with it from the first day you step on campus. Everything's being looked at. So I just tell the young guys, stay hungry, stay humble, and just don't take it for granted, because it flies like this. I'm grateful I got to play for Penny, McDermott, and Coach Dawkins, and they all said I was a professional basketball player. So that just did nothing but wonders for my confidence.
How would you describe Coach Dawkins? Is he a player's coach, a disciplinarian? Is he kind of a tactician? How would you kind of describe his coaching style?
I would say he's a player's coach in terms of giving his players the freedom, a little bit of a tactician. I mean, I love it because he lets you just go out there and play. But it's like, I remember this quote, they said, you're not going to treat all your children the same. So the dudes that have the opportunity to play, then those are going to be the dudes that, make the most noise. But I mean, if you're a player playing 30 minutes a game, you can't complain. For me, honestly, I didn't play that much, but I'm grateful for the opportunities that I did receive from Coach Dawkins, because I made the most of them. Like, I remember Oklahoma game. It was his 300th win, and it was my first legitimate start of the year. And I was locked in from the jump. I remember if I wouldn't have got foul trouble, that was a 30 ball easily. It was like I was feeling it that day.
But, yeah, would you have 3 threes that day?
I had 3 threes like the first 2 minutes of the game. I think we started off like 15-4. I had got me a dunk that game. I mean, I knew going into the game that we had some injuries and that I was going to get the start. I wasn't expecting it because, again, I'm a walk-on. So, you don't usually play walk-ons over scholarship dudes. But when I got the opportunity, I was ready. And I'm not the average walk-on. I've been to 3 Division I schools. So, yeah.
All right, so we got into a Big 12 play. And the very first game in the Big 12, we played Kansas State, and they blew our doors off. Was there what exactly happened? Were we just? I mean, I don't want to say we weren't ready for that, but were we not ready for that one?
We was definitely prepared. Coaches prepare us, and they tell us everything you want to know about the other team, but it's about going out there and executing. That was a great environment. Like, I'll never forget that game. I remember I went between the legs in warm-ups that game. That was just a really good environment, and they got out on us, and shoot, can't say nothing. I have no comment for that one, but that was a blowout.
All right, but then you put that one behind you.
Huh?
Yeah, you put that one right behind you, because the very next game we get Kansas at home. It's a huge game, probably to that point. You can argue the biggest win in UCF history, maybe.
That is the biggest win in UCF history. That was like, I mean, Kansas wasn't all that this year. Not give them credit where it's due. They wasn't all that this year, and I feel like what we did was we just exposed them for that. And it was also, I owe that W to our crowd. Like, our crowd was so with us that game. We felt their energy, and every time we got down, they was there to pick us up. And I feel like me subbing into that game that I didn't expect to sub in after playing as many minutes as I did against Kansas State, I feel like I helped spark that run. We went on a little run at the end of the half, and then it was over with from there.
Yep. So what was the celebration like after that game? I know you guys can't party too much because you got a game again in a couple of days. But like we said, that's one of the biggest wins in school history. That night, how fun was it?
It was fun storming the court, but Coach Dawkins, he said we got practice the next morning. So it was like, you're gonna have a little fun, but at 12 o'clock the fun stops. So like, I'll probably party till 12, and then I was like, I gotta go to bed. I got practice in the morning. So we probably had a light day in practice after that, but it was right back to work after that dub. It wasn't no celebrating too much, because we knew, like, in the Big 12, every game you could lose every game if you're not coming the way you're supposed to come for real.
Yeah, fun stat on the Kansas, Antwann. You only played 3 minutes and 41 seconds, yet your plus minus was +8. You were the second highest plus minus on the team. So your 3 minutes, you had the second highest plus minus on the team. So your impact certainly shows up in the box score for people who are looking at it.
I mean, I don't control. I just go out there and control what I can control, man. I feel like I don't even get to check my plus minus, but I feel like a lot of games I came in there and then I made an impact to help the team. Like I just know I did, and my teammates recognize it and they appreciate me for it. But it is what it is. Them 3 minutes, I know I sparked something. I feel like we was in there. I got in there. We was losing. I remember they was dunking on us. He put me in. He's like, "Twan, go out there and make a play." And I was like, "I got you, coach. I'm gonna go out there and make a play."
Well, let's kind of go back to the beginning. Obviously, we knew going into the season, the Big 12 was a tough basketball conference, right? And so a lot of fans were saying, "Hey, we're going to get killed this year. It's not even going to be close." As players, were you all hearing that chatter that people were saying, like, "Hey, we're going to get run out of the gym. You guys going to get blown out this year"? And was that motivating to you all as players?
Absolutely motivating, because it was like we put on our shoes the same way they put on their shoes, and it's anybody's night. You know what I'm saying? We if it was to play pickup or just roll the ball out, us against another team, I don't really see too many teams stacking up against us. We had Ibrahima, we had Jalen Sellers, Darius Johnson, me, Shamari Allen. We had a CJ Walker. We had a bunch of dudes that like can do what they're supposed to do. It was just we had to mesh so quickly early on in the season, which is not easy to do. It's not easy to do. But if we would have had more time together, it would have been a problem. We probably would have, made the NCAA tournament. Like I feel like we still could have made the NCAA tournament. Like it was just a couple losses here and there that like kind of like it messed up the momentum. But we was an NCAA tournament team easily, in my opinion. BYU, they shouldn't have beat us. Like I don't even like that. Can't even think about that. But BYU, we shouldn't have lost to BYU. No, or Texas State.
Well, take me to one of my favorite games this year, Antwann, was the road win at Texas, right? We come off, we beat Kansas, everyone's celebrating, right? A tough loss at home against BYU. Then we go to Texas, and you guys dominated that game. I mean, you were really in the lead the majority of that game. Texas had a couple of runs that came back. How cool is it to go into Texas, the last year in the Big 12, right? They're going SEC, all that good jazz, and go in there and legit put them on them and come out with the W.
Oh, that win probably felt the best. That probably like the best feeling win, because I mean, just to shut everybody up, it was loud. They were talking trash the whole game. The fans were rowdy, and then just for us Shamari was going off that game, and then everybody was just quiet. And then I did say horns down to the crowd, and the coach did not like it. I tried to act like I wasn't doing it, but I was talking trash on the bench. Everybody on the bench was talking trash to the fans because they was coming at us like, "Oh, y'all don't play. So like, well, horns down, take that L, and then we walked out of there.
Yeah, I was going to ask that next. So I broke the film down as I watched that, right? So you guys get to the line. Rodney Terry's over there, like telling you not to do this, right? I saw you do that move where you kind of look away, you push the guy in front of you to kind of like walk away, and I was like, man, I feel like Antwann may be guilty on this one too. But what was he yelling at you guys?
Like, he was trying to play it off. I was like, he's really talking to me, but I'm gonna act like he's not talking to me because I was being disrespectful. But it is what it is. It's all.
What did he say to you guys? What was he yelling at you guys?
He was saying that we don't have no class and have some class, and we don't do that. I'm like, and I don't like that, because if it was the other way around, we never know how that'll go. So,
did you guys go to the locker room afterwards and sort of laugh at that? Like, what was the locker room scene after the win and after that little childish display you put on?
Coach Dawkins made sure we handled ourselves with class when we got to the locker room. He was telling them to acknowledge them and this, that, and the third. And then when we got to the bus, that's when we was like, yeah, like we was talking trash. And we was having a good time after that victory, especially when nobody thought we were gonna win. Like I can honestly say people were thinking we was gonna lose, and we all believed that we coming out of here with a dub. So that was a good feeling.
After that, we go to Houston, and they played some of the best defense I think I've ever seen. Were they the best team that we played against this year? We played them twice. The second time we played them better, but the first time I think we made like 3 shots in the whole second half or something.
I can't even speak on Houston. Like that's just crazy. I don't even. I got the next question. I don't got nothing to say about Houston, man.
I mean, they were the number one team in the country for a reason. They're a good team. We
They
can't say
were
that.
like I respect Houston defensively, but if you can just negate the physicality and just execute, you're a better team. They're not really a scoring team like that. It's just we gotta have composure. We didn't have enough composure that game, and that's why we came up short. But I tip my hat to Houston. That's the best defensive team I've seen, and Coach Sampson is one of the best coaches at like getting his players to come play each and every night and play hard each and every play. So I'll give him that. But as a hooper, you should want to compete every night. You should want to play hard every play. So I mean, I guess it was just their day. But I don't know what to say about that.
And then you touched on this earlier, but a 3-game stretch in a row at Texas Tech is a close game. We end up losing by 7. At BYU, we lose by 2. And then against Cincinnati, we lose by 2 again. Those 3 games, I think if they go the other way, you're right, we're in the tournament. But which one of those 3 hurts? Which one of those 3 do you feel like, man, we really let that one get away?
Texas Tech for sure. BYU, they were kind of we was like more like a comeback game. We was just trying to get the game close. It wasn't really like they had that game the whole way. We just trying to make it close, honestly, just being honest. And then Cincinnati, we ran out of gas. We didn't have Shamari Allen or CJ Walker. We would have beat them at their crib if we had those 2 guys. I feel like that because me and Marcellus Avery in the first half were just unstoppable. We had the Cincinnati crowd quiet. He had probably like 19. I had like 8 at the half, and it was we supposed to win that game. But again, it's just more like composure.
Right. The first time we were up, I think like 12, 13 points in the first half. But the second time at home is when they beat us by 2. That one hurt a little.
I can't even speak on that, but I just feel like we got to keep our composure. If you know, read the stat sheet on that game, and then you tell me what you think happened. I'm gonna just be honest with that one. Read the stat sheet. It didn't talk to me.
There's a lot of fouls, right?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about fouls? Read the stat sheet, man. Come on. You tell me it's gonna be something glaring on that stat sheet against Cincinnati that makes you change your mind and see why we lost that game. But no comment.
Well, we touched on again, probably the game that you said was your best game, the Oklahoma game, right? And obviously you come out and you hit 15, 3 or 4 from 3-point range. You're plus 12 in the plus minus. You mentioned you kind of got that start. Is that something as a hooper? Did you know, like, as you got in the game, like, all right, like I'm feeling it. Like, is it a feeling? Is it something where you know, like, hey, I feel like I got a good rhythm going?
I mean, honestly, you can track it in my starts that I've had in college. If you did like the averages, I'd probably give you 12, 5, and 5. Like, as a person that has come off the bench his whole career, I've gotten starts that I had to earn really, like, and not be given anything. I had to earn it. I played pretty well. And so as a starter, when you prepare yourself week in and week out and you play 25, 30 minutes, you're going to get easy buckets throughout the rhythm of the game. Like, you're going to get open shots. Like, when you play off the bench, you get probably 1 or 2 shots, and you better hope you make the first shot, because if you don't, there's a chance you might not get back in the game. It's hard. It's a different role in starting and coming off the bench. As a starter, you can play free. No, I could go 0 for 2. I'm going to get back in at least. But when you come off that bench, you miss that first shot or you turn that ball over, you probably not getting back in the game. It's hard to play like that psychologically. But I knew it from the jump. As soon as Coach said I was going to start, I said, I got you. I said it because we needed his 300 win. And I was like, I'm going to just show him how much I appreciate him by getting this W. And if you watch that game, I watched that game like probably like once a week. And I was like, wow, I was playing perfect. But I just got into foul trouble. And I had to get pulled out with like 16 minutes left. Like, I had 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game. And I had 9 points. I finished with 15, but if I would have played the rest of that first half, that was a 30 ball. Like, they couldn't stop me. And they had a bad matchup on me. So I was like, oh, it's over with. It was over with.
I think another game that underrated that you played really well in is a game you actually didn't get a chance to start, but when we played West Virginia at home, you came off the bench in that game. You played 25 minutes though. You had 13 points. You were looks like 1-1 from 3-point range. That was another game early, right before the Oklahoma game, that you kind of really got in your rhythm. Was that kind of the best stretch for you in terms of
Yeah,
this season, kind of getting minutes and getting buckets?
Yeah, I had to grow up and mature. So I understood at that point in time that my role was my role, and that I got tired of going home and being upset with my performances. So like that was the first game I was like, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna play my game the way I know how to play it, and it's not gonna be no this, that, and the third. I'm gonna just go out here, rebound. What got me going was an offensive rebound. Coach was on me about offensive rebounding, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get an offensive rebound, and that might buy me a little bit more time. So it did. Shamari got a steal, I got a layup. That's how I like to get going. I get a layup, I see the ball going, I'll string it together. I'll go get 6 to 8 points. And yeah, West Virginia game was like the game I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna show these people that I can hoop for real, because people don't know if they never see it. So I was like, let me just show them real quick. And they seen it. They was like, wow, he's pretty good. It was like he need to get a little bit more minutes, but that's neither here nor there.
What was the missing piece of this team this year? Like you said, you think we should have been in the tournament. We were a good enough team, you think, to get to the tournament, but the record doesn't say we deserved it. But what was the one thing that if you could fix, and I know give you more playing time. Besides that,
you knew that. All right, good. Way to answer, Mo. I was like, good. Glad you said it, because I don't want to go say it. So I was like, hey, listen, you know who the missing piece was. Let's just be honest. But the missing piece, honestly, was just taking care of the ball, shot selection, getting the ball moving, continuity, just things that you get when you play together. Yeah, it was just more like that, more leadership. But I mean, Coach Dawkins did a really good job recruiting from the year past to this year. Like, he got the guys that he wanted to get the job done, and we really excelled because they picked us dead last, and they didn't think we would make it that far. We had our own goals and we came up short, but we did pretty good for what people thought we was gonna do.
Yeah, a bunch of good wins this year. Wins against top 25 teams. Another very good one at the end against TCU on the road. That's a tough win. That game though, I gotta be honest, I couldn't watch it. That court is so distracting and ugly. Does it bother you as a player, or do you not really notice?
TCU was funny. I could not warm up. Like, I don't know what it was, but usually I dunk in warm ups. I'm laying the ball up. I just felt it just felt weird being at TCU. But DJ had a miraculous game. That boy was hooping that game. But honestly, shooting wise, Darius Johnson, that boy can shoot the basketball like really, really well. Like really, really well. It's just a lot of pressure on him, but he can shoot. I give him that all day, every day. Like, you see him in the gym working on his game constantly, and it reaps rewards. So I'm proud of him for helping us get that W.
And so one of the things that I actually tweeted a couple of times, I think you end up retweeting one of mine or like one of my tweets. I felt like you were a guy that could have come off the bench in a couple of those games where offensively we're struggling and provide a spark. Like you said, you're active in the passing lane, right? You play good defense. You always get kind of loose balls. Did you ever go to Coach Dawkins and kind of ask or trying to figure out like, hey, what do I need to do to maybe get more minutes, or I guess maybe what was the reason why you felt like you didn't get as many minutes as maybe you deserved?
So I know this is why I try to tell young guys that it's more political than you think. I work hard. Like, all I do is work out. Like, I literally just left the gym. I probably work out 2-3 times a day, get shots up, just so I can be prepared for my opportunities. But in my situation, I was a walk-on, so I wasn't on scholarship. I wasn't on NIL, and I did go to Coach Dawkins and ask for playing time, and he did. If he was like, "You do this, that, and the third, I'll see about getting you some more minutes." So that's when that's when the West Virginia game happened. That's when the Texas Tech game I got to start. BYU, I played probably 19 minutes. In Oklahoma, I played a good amount of minutes. But then the people that were hurt that came back, they instantly was taking my minutes. And then DeMar Langford was going to play over me. It was just, I was very low on the pecking order, and that's just what it was because I wasn't a scholarship dude. But I thought, my talent would allow me to rise to the top. But sometimes that ain't the case. You just got to deal with it. Because, I don't know. I feel like when I got the opportunity, from a fan's perspective, I thought I looked good out there. So there's nothing I could do.
Yeah, not because you're on the show, but I always feel like you brought a ton of energy and you made plays, right? You kind of got the energy up on the team, particularly in the defense. I thought you were really good defensively, and that we could turn defense into offense. But so we go to the Big 12 championship, we go to the Oklahoma State. We already beat them once, and another great game. How you guys seem really locked in and ready and prepared for that game. Like from the jump, it seemed like y'all were winning that game. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what was happening. Ibrahima had a monster game that game. Was there a different vibe or energy as you got to the tournament and especially as you kind of prepared for that first game?
I will tell this story, which is crazy. So we watched this movie with Jimmy Valvano. I think that's his name, Jimmy V.
Survive in Advance, so
we had dinner and we watched, instead of like watching film, we watched the Jimmy Valvano because we wanted to go on the win streak like them to get to the tournament. We was like, we basically got to win this tournament to get to the tournament. So we was like trying to be super locked in. And we watched the movie and it motivated us. I can see it in our eyes. We had a team meeting after dinner and we basically was just saying how, like, we put all our egos to the side and let's go out there and play as hard as we can, no matter what our opportunity is or what our role is. Just go out there and be the best that we all can be for each other. Let's play for each other. And we ended up winning.
You had a good game too.
Yeah, we was locked in. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you had 7 points. You had 7 points. You were plus minus plus 10 on the game. You had a really good game too.
I appreciate that. Then we go to BYU game. We weren't supposed to. If we wouldn't have been 21-3, we would have won that game too. It was just too much. It was too much to come back from, and then the refs started cheating a little bit. Let me not say the refs were cheating, but the refs started making questionable calls. So that's what. And then we were on such a hot run that it took a lot of energy to come back in a game like that. People don't understand that. Like, you got to be in super, super good condition because that's just what it is. We're in pretty good shape though, but it was just like the refs made these calls and it was just like back-breaking. Like, we just made all this effort to come back and you gonna call like. I think Khalifa had a foul. I don't know what it was. Ended up being a foul on us, and then we ended up getting a technical. And we was down like 3.
Yeah, it was on Tierno. It wasn't even a call they had to review. They reviewed something else, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, they said Tierno undercut Khalifa." Ended up getting an F1 right with a ball out of bounds too. That was, you can't say they cheated because I know you got some eligibility you want to keep. But I'll say it for you. They were cheating in that game. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I was like really puzzled at some of the calls they was making. I had a call on the baseline, hand straight up, fundamentally sound defense. The dude jumps into me, and they call foul. I'm looking like, and then the crowd was like, yeah, they cheating, but that's neither here nor there. Hopefully, I can get this year of eligibility back, but if not, Antwann will be going pro.
The style of play that BYU plays. As a fan, it's frustrating when they're hitting all their shots against you. Is there a style that you prefer to play a team like that where they live and die by the 3, or would you rather play against a team that kind of goes straight up and tries to attack the basket?
I'm a high IQ player, so I can adjust. But the teams that I felt like we were going to do well, I like a BYU because honestly, all their shots that they made were wide open because of a blown defensive assignment. If we just did our jobs and stayed on them and Coach said no threes, no free throws, and that's exactly what we gave them. We don't give them those, we win that game. I like because they can't guard nobody. I see Khalifa coming off a pick and roll. He's a chopped cheese. He's over with. I see any of them dudes really. I'm like, yo, all you guys can't play defense, but you guys play good team defense. I'll give them that.
And they can shoot, man. They started off that game way too hot, like you said. That put us down too much. But you follow that game up. Okay, so
21-3 better than us. 21-3 was crazy. I never forget that. That was wild. We were supposed to win that. But 21.
Well, y'all played them the rest of the game after that.
Yeah, you can't. In basketball, the basketball guys don't work like that. You can't go out 21-3 and then expect to win a game. It's very low.
Unless you're your Bearless football team against us, nobody comes back from that.
That was our fault too. I will say that as our fault.
Yeah,
course.
you guys were there. Yeah.
We were there, and we left because we thought the game was over. But we also had practice though. We had like a late night practice film session, so we had to leave. But I was so surprised when they lost that game. But then I thought about it, and then everybody was on Twitter like all the fans left, but they left because they seen us leaving. So I'm gonna take that one football team. That's on me. I got y'all this year though against Deion Sanders. We getting that dub.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So we finish the season, and then we go to the NIT, and we play against what is our rival. I mean, I don't know. I know. I'm sure they were really hyped up for the game.
That game hurt my heart. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hurt.
Okay, so you're a guy that hasn't even been here that long. Like, we hate South Florida. We hate that team. We hate that school. We hate everything about it.
As you should. They want to be us.
Right.
You know.
So it's good to hear that a guy like you that's only been here for a year feels the same way and was hurt by that loss.
That one hurt me more than any loss of the whole season. That one hurt me. Like I really was balled up crying after that one. Like that was a tough one. That was tough.
And not just because it's the last one, but because it was them, right?
It's because it's them, and at the crib, and they
at home.
Yeah.
and they not better than us. We just was tripping. I was like, nah, we're not USF. They Adidas. You can't lose to Adidas.
They ugly. Those uniforms are ugly too, Antwann. That neon green. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I seen them uniforms, like, this a W. But you know, how many minutes? How many I played that game? I don't even know how much I played that game.
You played 6 minutes, missed 2 free throws, and had a foul.
I did miss them 2 free throws.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous because look, you get in the game. It did like I wasn't expecting to get in the game. I think I checked in. If you check when I check in, I was like, that's one thing I learned about being a professional. You always got to be ready for your opportunity. And that was the biggest thing I learned from this year. Like, you never know when your number is going to be called, so you always got to be ready. And that's probably I attribute that to a lot of my free throw percentage being as low as it is, just because, like, mentally it's hard. It's hard. It's just hard being Antwann. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard.
You checked in with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, so that means I was sitting for like 40 minutes. That I get in there and they put me on the line, and it's all the crowd, you know. I'm seeing beautiful ladies in the stands. I'm like, oh, I'm finna miss. I'm cold. It's cold in there. I'll be on the bench. It's cold. That's why I'll be telling y'all, when you start, it's easy because you already loose. You go hard at warm-ups and then you start, you good. When you sit on that bench, them knees get a little rickety, especially at my age. I'll be walking in there stiff.
You're half our age.
Yeah, your age.
Hey,
Are you the oldest guy? Were you the oldest guy on the team?
Yeah, up there, probably. So look, if you're an older guy.
Yeah.
If you go into a basketball game, no stretch, no warm up, how are you gonna perform?
I'm not. I'm gonna be in a hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, your knees, arthritis.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot of tendonitis and everywhere going in. So that's how I be feeling.
My knees hurt just sitting here talking to you right now. So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I got
my
you.
back hurt. I'm old. My back hurt. But
Antwann, I got to ask this question. I don't know if you can answer or not. So if you can, I respect it. But obviously, you said you want to petition the NCAA for another year. If not, right, you'll turn your eyes to the NBA. If you do get another year, is your plan to come back to UCF, or are you going to explore some options at that point and figure out what's next for you?
I mean, I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. So it would be. I don't want to go anywhere else. This is home for me. So, and then I feel like because I missed the first 8 games of the season, that was like a limiting factor, because you have to play 8 games without even thinking about me possibly suiting up. So I feel like, and they did, you know how coaching is. You don't want to mess up the continuity or the rotations that you already had set in stone. So I kind of like shook things up a little bit. I feel like if I can get a full year from the jump, summer workouts, dominate summer, dominate spring, dominate fall, I'll have a chance to play the minutes that I think that I could contribute. Because I honestly, 10 minutes, 3 shots a game, I don't know what player can have a good career with 10 minutes and 3 shots a game. I don't know. But I wouldn't want to go anywhere else, because this is home for me and I love it at UCF. I think I can make an impact on this team or any team that I'm on. But I'm grateful for the opportunity that they gave me, because a lot of people gave up on me, and they didn't. So I'm thankful for UCF for that.
Well, we've seen obviously some of your teammates have declared they're in the portal. Now they're going to move on to something else. Any of the names surprise you? The guys who ended up going in the portal. Anybody that you're kind of surprised or scratching your head when you saw they went in the portal?
Yeah, I definitely was surprised. I'm surprised. Can't say no names, but I'm surprised at a couple. I'm like, hell, he bleeds black and gold. One of them bleeds black and gold. So that was hard.
Yeah,
I was like, that's my best friend, my brother. Like, I love him. So I was definitely surprised. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. It's for the best. But I don't know. No comment. That's why I get myself in trouble.
Yeah, I got you. I think we get who you're talking about on that one. But let me ask this last question too. A lot of people were talking about Coach Dawkins. He's got 1 year left in his contract. There was a lot of people talking about extend Coach Dawkins. I know you don't get to make those decisions, but do you think Coach Dawkins has earned the right to continue to stay at UCF and be the head coach?
I mean, he's done a fantastic job up until now, but it's the Big 12, man. Like, and I had to learn the hard way. It's a business, man. So every year you got to fight. So, I mean, it's the Big 12, so you got to come with it. I mean, I think so far, because of last year, he deserves another chance to prove that we can do even more. And it was such a short notice that if he gets the right guys in his program, they're going to do really well. I think we had one of those special teams this year, though. Like, we was special. So I mean, it's gonna be hard, but definitely earned his keep for sure.
All right. Well, we get every interview we end, Antwann, with some rapid fire questions. Could be music, movies, sports, food, anything under the sun, man. So are you ready for these rapid fire questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So can I make the assumption? Do you wear the number 1 because of Penny Hardaway? Is that why you wear number 1?
Mm-hmm. That, and I won a state championship wearing number 1. So
okay,
I was trying to bring championship energy to that number. Yeah.
All right, you mentioned the girls in the stands. That's always my favorite part of the game too. You've been around the country. You played at Memphis. You played at Creighton. You played at UCF. Where are the prettiest girls? Who's got the best
Florida, Florida, Texas, Georgia. That's who got them. Trust me.
You didn't say Nebraska for Creighton. I didn't hear Nebraska there.
Oh,
okay.
The Cornhuskers. What you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't hear Nebraska in there. This year, Antwann, a new tradition broke out at UCF. They were waving palm fronds in the crowd. What's your at palm fronds? Is that cool or is that cheesy, corny? We got to do something else.
I mean, it's bringing good Florida energy. I don't know. I didn't know what the trend was, but I like the Florida energy. It's giving palm tree vibes, so I liked it, but I didn't know the history of it or anything. I just looked like more distraction at the free throw line for the other team, so I like it. Like when I'm at the free throw line, I see palm fronds. It's kind of distracting. Our team was almost distracting me a little bit. They need to chill a little bit when we're shooting free throws because they was messing us up for real.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned the food in Italy. You said it's better here, but what's your favorite meal? If you're just hanging out watching the game with some friends, what are you eating? You got some chicken wings, you got some pizza. What's your go-to?
Are we in Florida or are we in Italy?
No, Florida.
If we in Florida, I'm gonna go ahead and get me that's tough. I'm a big pizza guy. I like pizza, so I'm probably gonna go to Porcelino's. I know this is free promotion, but they got the best pizza right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good.
And what toppings are you going with?
I like the white cheese. I'm just going Parmesan on there. That's it. White cheese pizza. I like red sauce, but I prefer the white sauce. I'm just being honest. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
No. Full stop. I'm with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Think about your teammates for a second. Which one of your teammates do you never want to drive in a car with? Who's the worst driver on the team?
You know, CJ Walker, the worst driver to ever invented driving. He's probably the worst ever. You know, maybe me. All right. My problem is potholes. We need to get rid of potholes. All right, because a pothole hit my car, my bumper almost came off. So we need to get rid of those. But CJ Walker's the worst driver ever.
No, anyone who's been to UCF knows that parking can be a challenger. How many parking tickets did you rack up in your time at UCF?
$800. That's how much I racked
What?
up. I got two sitting waiting right now as we speak that I ain't paid. Because I graduated, they still might not get that. But a lot.
$800.
It's like they
That's
set
no
you
joke.
up. I'm like, there's no visitor parking. So how am I gonna park here if I'm a visitor? And they'll tell you too. Just don't get it twisted. They'll tell you. I'm like, all right, I don't want no smoke with the parking police. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
All right, who do you got winning the Final Four coming up this week?
Who? It's gonna be UConn. No, let me not say that. I wanted to be UConn. I wanted to be UConn, just because Paige Bueckers, she believes in God, and she's a beautiful person. I mean, I respect her game, and I'll take her almost over Caitlin Clark, just because she's more of an all-around player. Caitlin do got that. Right? I don't know what LSU was doing. Like, I don't understand why they weren't picking her up at half court and double teaming her, but that's on them. Hopefully, other teams are smarter. But it's either going to be South Carolina or UConn for the women's, and then for the men's, I don't see nobody beating UConn. That team is dominant. I played against them, and they play against Coach Greg McDermott. So they lost to Creighton this year, and I know that loss, that film that they got from playing against Creighton, probably is going to help them win another national championship. Because Creighton is one of the toughest teams to play against. Excellent, like UConn all the way. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, UConn.
All right, what was your reaction when you show up to the arena and you're watching the game and you're seeing everything that's going on, and all of a sudden you look around and there's Antonio Brown, AB, is at UCF. He's in the locker room with you guys. What was your reaction when Antonio Brown was in Addition Financial Arena?
I was happy. Like, Antonio Brown, I don't really pay attention to the media. I judge people based off like interaction with him, and he's a super cool dude. And honestly, he's one of the top 5 receivers of all time. Like, when he was in his prime, it wasn't too many people better than Antonio Brown. It's just I guess he got CTE or whatever, but he was one of the he was one of the greatest, in my opinion. So, and then yeah, he's a cool dude.
T.I. was there too. Did you get a chance?
Did he? Shouted me out on Instagram.
T.I. was there too. Did you get a chance to meet T.I.?
No, that one hurt me the most because I grew up listening to T.I. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I know all your old albums. I don't know your new stuff because I don't listen to you anymore. But back in the day, T.I. was that dude. So if he ever come back, I'm definitely taking a picture with him.
All right, who's the funniest guy on the team?
Oh, that's me.
Well, besides you.
Besides me? It's tough. I say Chi-Chi or CJ. Ibrahima's low key. We had a couple of dudes. Thierno, Ibrahima, CJ, and Chi-Chi were hilarious. They always made me laugh. Ibrahima
is there
just
anybody
because he speaks a different language, so it'll make you laugh. He'll say like cheese instead of cheese. I'll laugh.
Is there anybody that does a Johnny Dawkins impression that cracks you guys up? When you guys are just
come on, bro! I'm trying to get people in trouble. You know that's the GOAT. That's the greatest coach of all time. I love him. All right, I'm not saying
we've had guys come on here and give coach impressions before.
Okay.
We had Aubrey. Aubrey came on and did an impression of his dad. It actually wasn't bad. It was pretty good.
So, you want me to give you an impression of Coach Dawkins? Okay. I got you. All right. I can't even do it, bro, because it's like I'm gonna get too in character right now. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna send you a video of me portraying Coach Dawkins.
Okay.
We gotta stay in the fight.
That's good. That is a good video. Yeah.
It's good defense right there. So I'm talking
it's about. The fit, yeah. No, it's the face. That I was gonna say the fist, and a hard stop on that one too.
Yeah.
Antwann, what was your favorite part of campus? When you're driving around campus, do you have a spot that was kind of like your go-to spot? You want to go chill, kind of relax? What was your favorite campus spot?
My favorite campus spot? Ooh, that's tough. I got a couple. I mean, I like to be in the student union. What's the Einstein Bros got the best strawberry banana shake, I bet. I like to hang around like Einstein Bros and the student union. Like the student union, come on, Chick-fil-A. I'm a food guy, so I just want to eat when I'm bored. So student union for sure. Take a little scooter.
All right, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
That's tough. I think I'll just be able to fly, man. Cause I'll just fly anywhere I need to go. Whatever Superman's flying capabilities are, that's what I want to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do. And
Right,
that'll
so
give
we'll
me
wrap you up.
100x vert. Yeah.
We'll wrap you up with this one, Antwann. You did an interview before the season, and you said you wished you'd come to UCF from the start of your college career. What did this season mean to you? How important or how cool was this year for you being able to come back and be home at UCF?
I mean, the biggest thing I can say is I got the opportunity to graduate from my dream school.
Yeah.
I love the black and gold. I love UCF. I mean, I've been a fan of UCF. Like, I'd rather go to UCF over USF any day, all day. Like, so we got the best school in the state of Florida. We just need to bring more recognition to our school. But we're on the come up. We're headed in the right direction to be one of those powerhouses in the country. And it meant the world to me that Coach Dawkins could allow me the opportunity to keep writing my story and changing the perspective on who I am. So a lot of people, they'll see that you've been to 3 or 4 schools and honestly make judgments and think of your character as a character issue. But honestly, it's more of an opportunity issue. I was just trying to go find the best opportunity for me and also develop myself as a man. And like I say, Coach Dawkins and the staff at UCF helped me become a better man. I can't thank them enough for it.
Well, Antwann, we appreciate you taking so much time and spending it with us tonight. Obviously, we'll keep rooting for you. If you're going to be maybe in Orlando, that'd be great. If you're going to be the NBA,
NCAA,
there
man,
too.
give me another year.
All right.
I got y'all with 10 points minimum if they do.